Time was July 1983. The site, Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. The first ever USFL championship game, and the combination of Bobby Hebert to Anthony Carter led the Michigan Panthers to a first ever USFL championship over the Philadelphia Stars. Bobby Hebert and Anthony Carter are still together, but not with the Panthers. Last summer, the Panthers merged with the Oakland Invaders. No matter, Hebert and Carter haven't missed a beat. They've led the Oakland Invaders to the best record in the USFL here in 1985. And for Carter and Hebert, their second appearance coming up in the USFL championship game. The Stars won the championship last year as the Philadelphia Stars, beating the Arizona Wranglers. But they moved down I-95 during the offseason to Baltimore. No matter, the Stars still win when it counts, and the key performers are still the same. Chuck Cusina, the quarterback, Kelvin Bryant, the running back / receiver. And so it's no surprise that the Baltimore Stars and the Oakland Invaders will be matched up in the third USFL championship game at the Meadowlands Sunday night. Hi, everyone. I'm Tom Mees. In the next half hour, we'll take a closer look at both teams scheduled to meet at the Meadowlands Sunday for the USFL championship. We'll take a look at the Baltimore Stars starting quarterback, Chuck Cusina, out of Penn State, and also profile their tenacious doghouse defense. We'll also look at one of the best receivers in football, Anthony Carter, the Oakland Invaders, and take a look at Bobby Hebert, the third-year quarterback who's making a name for himself in the Bay Area. All that and much more coming up in the next 30 minutes right here on ESPN. In case you're wondering about the Philadelphia under Chuck Cusina's statistics there a moment ago, remember, he played with the Philadelphia Stars before the franchise moved to Baltimore prior to this season. And the Baltimore Stars have been coming on. They've won 6 straight games coming into this championship game. They've had an up-and-down season, while the Oakland Invaders come into the league championship with the best record in the United States Football League. Baltimore comes in 12-7-1. They've won 6 in a row, including playoff victories against New Jersey and Birmingham. Oakland 15-4-1, including playoff wins against Tampa Bay and Memphis. Each team's tie came against each other out in Oakland earlier in the season. In fact, you may recall that's the only tie in the history of the United States Football League. If you're going to go to the game Sunday night in the Meadowlands and you're watching Baltimore with the football, the first man you'll lay your eyes on, obviously, is the quarterback, number 14, Chuck Cusina, out of Penn State. He's had an up-and-down year, as has his team. Cusina, in the first game of the year against Jacksonville, gets sacked here by Keith Millard, injures his hand, stays in the game, and next play throws an interception to Jacksonville's Chester G. While the Stars' defense was its old stingy self from the beginning of the season to the end, the offense couldn't get on track. Baltimore's record dipped to 5-6-1 after a dozen games, but Kelvin Bryant then got healthy, as did Cusina, and the Pussycats all of a sudden turned back into Lions. With all cylinders now working, the Stars were able to finish the regular season on a strong note and get to the playoffs. And Cusina feels the Stars' veteran unit never stopped believing in itself.
I really believe because we've been here, and we realized we had a lot of the people with us that did it before. I think over 50% of the guys were here for the first championship game in Denver. So we realized we had the potential, we had the personnel that can do it, and if we hung together, then maybe there was that chance, and we did, and we're here.
Yes, Chuck, the Stars are certainly here because they shut down Herschel Walker in the first playoff game, then used a big play like this one to Kelvin Bryant to beat the Birmingham Stallions. The Baltimore Stars are for real.
Last week, our offense, I thought, played pretty good to beat a good Birmingham defense and a good Birmingham team. So anytime you're in the playoffs, you really should just be happy to get to the next game. And right now, this is the big one, and I'm real excited about it.
Yet even with Baltimore's stingy defense, quarterback Chuck Cusina knows that the Stars, in order to win, had to control the football and score some points in bunches.
We're going to have to score points. That's definitely for sure. We know with their offense, they could light up the scoreboard awfully quick. We're going to have to stay consistent throughout the game. We're not going to have to give them the ball in our territory because they could flip one to Carter or Banks or Holloway or any of those guys. But our defense is playing awfully well, and we have a lot of confidence in them.
He's very deceiving. You know, he doesn't have the best arm, in the league, and he doesn't run as well as a lot of the quarterbacks do. But I'm telling you, he's a gamer. He's a competitor, and he gets the job done, and that's the main thing, really. You know, you got to watch him every darn time. He's not the prettiest, but he gets the job done.
To me personally, if we could win this one, I really believe it'd be the best one to win. All that we've gone through this year, the turmoil of moving, the traveling, the people saying that we couldn't do it in there, and the media getting down on us because we were losing early in the season. But the team stuck together, and consequently, we're here. And to go through all that and to win that would be really great.
Keeping in mind that the Stars with Chuck Fusina at quarterback have lost only one playoff game in their 3-year history in the USFL. Let's take a look at Chuck's stats through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs here in '85. 20 completions on 36 attempts. Actually, you can see the Stars don't pass the ball as much as many USFL teams. 308 yards in the pass completions. The completion percentage just over 55%. 3 touchdowns, but also 3 interceptions. Chuck Fusina is not flashy, but he does get the job done. On the other hand, for the Oakland Invaders, when you think of offense, the first man you think of actually is 3 men, a group of 3 men, the receivers for the Oakland Invaders. Anthony Carter at the lower part of your screen, upper left Gordon Banks, upper right Derek Holloway, but the most dangerous of the Oakland receivers is number 1, Anthony Carter. Now, when you say Anthony Carter, you needn't ask the Baltimore Stars for some input. They know all about the former Michigan All-American. It was Anthony Carter who caught this TD pass from Bobby Hebert to power the Michigan Panthers over the Stars in the 1983 title game. Carter says this year's Invaders are back in the big show because they hung together through tough times.
I think we stuck together through thick and thin when everybody thought we wasn't going to be here coming out of with the merger in January and training camp, and it didn't look like we was going to be on the right foot, and everybody stuck together, the coaching staff and the players, and all of a sudden we're here.
Again this season, Anthony Carter burned the Stars with this TD catch with 1 second left in regulation. The 2 clubs played to a tie. Similar score, similar teams, according to AC.
The adversity has been around both teams, and I think that's a sign of great teams. They stuck through it, and they stuck together, the team, the coaching, the staff, and the administrator, and that's the most important thing. Once you can do those, I think everything else will take its place. Now that we're here, we're hoping that we can get a good ball game.
Now, the Baltimore Doghouse defense will be zeroing in on number 1, Anthony Carter. There's no doubt about that, using intimidation and even trickery.
I think one thing they do, they disguise their coverage real well, and they have a tendency of blitzing real well, and then you can't hardly pick it up, and I think that's the most important thing. I think if we can pick up their blitzes at the proper time and hit the big plays on them, I think we can come out victorious. But it's all in the main of being seen right now, and hopefully that we can do that come on Sunday.
Anthony Carter has been here before, but even the polished pros can get nervous before a big game. Sunday night at the Meadowlands against Baltimore will be no exception.
The butterflies will be there, there's no doubt about that, but I think once you take that first lick, I think all the butterflies will be gone, and hopefully that once you take that big lick, that you can have your mind mentally and physically, ready for a tough ball game, because that's the kind of defense they play. As you can look at last week against Jim Smith, I think he caught 10 passes, but he really paid for it, and that's the price that they're going to do once you catch the ball.
Anthony Carter has been as consistent as the rest of his team this season. He has had excellent performances in both the playoff victories against Tampa Bay and Memphis. Taking a look at AC's stats for the first 2 playoff games, 11 receptions, 206 yards, averaging almost 19 yards a catch, and 3 touchdowns included in that total, 2 touchdown passes coming against the Memphis Showboats last weekend. Of course, Anthony Carter has to have someone to get the ball to him. We'll take a look at that someone, the quarterback for the Oakland Invaders, when this compact sports preview continues in just a moment. More than any other player in the United States Football League, Bobby Hebert, formerly of the Michigan Panthers, now with the Oakland Invaders, is one man who has really profited by the existence of a second pro football league. He went to a small college, Northwestern Louisiana, where he played football there with a guy named Mark Duper, who now applies his trade for the NFL Miami Dolphins. And then Bobby Hebert got his chance to play in the USFL after the NFL didn't see fit to draft him. But now he's in Oakland, but his career started in Michigan. The site, the Pontiac Silverdome, July of '83, and the Michigan Panthers draw over 60,000 paying customers for their playoff game against the Oakland Invaders. Bobby Hebert and Anthony Carter lead the Panthers to victory. But in 1985, the same duo are doing it for a different team, the Oakland Invaders, following last summer's merger of the 2 clubs. For quarterback Bobby Hebert from Louisiana, it's been a big change of scenery, from the bayous to the Motor City to the West Coast and the California lifestyle.
Playing with the Invaders, that was a unique and different situation, living out in California, being from Louisiana. And it was a real enjoyable situation, so had some good times with the Invaders. There wasn't really anything, negative, because it seemed like we always rose to the occasion. whenever they had some type of adversity against us. So I was just happy to be in a situation, with the Invaders and with the merger, and it's been a positive thing.
Bobby Hebert, who played at Northwestern Louisiana with a wide receiver named Mark Duper, is in his second pro title game in 3 years, but nerves will not be a problem.
I don't think I'll be more nervous than I was the first time around. I'm just glad to be in this position again, playing in my third year being the second championship game, so I'm just excited to be here.
As you can see, Bobby Hebert is a competent young man, but he knows the Baltimore Stars defense will be a formidable challenge on Sunday night at the Meadowlands.
Their defense has been one of the top defenses, in the first 3 years of the USFL. Their offense has been coming around the second half of the season, and I kind of thought that if they'd get to the playoffs, that they would be there in the championship game. They're well coached, they play well together as a unit, and it's going to be a tough ball game. We'll have to play well if we expect to win.
There's a lot of talk about Hebert, the high-profile quarterback, jumping to the NFL. But for now, at least, the Cajun Cannon is downplaying.
I just feel fortunate, and I just thank God that I'm able to play and be in this position. I just take it one day at a time and just stay humble, because I know a lot of times you're only as good as the people around you, and always helps to have a good supporting cast. So, especially offense, but we have to play well. Everybody working together, not 9 guys doing what they're supposed to and 2 not. So I think that'll be a big key in the game. Everyone pulling together, all 11 players, the offensive unit, and I think it'll take that type of effort to beat the Stars.
Certainly will take a good game by Bobby Hebert and his teammates to beat Baltimore on Sunday night. Let's take a look at what Bobby has done in the first 2 playoff games against the Tampa Bay Bandits and last week against the Memphis Showboats. An aggregate statistical total of 33 completions in his 60 attempts, over 550 yards completed. You can see he throws the ball a lot more than Chuck Fusina, at least in the playoffs. And his completion percentage about the same as Fusina. He's thrown 4 touchdown passes, but he's also been intercepted 4 times. As for the Baltimore Stars, besides the quarterback Chuck Fusina, another man that the fans will be watching at the Meadowlands Sunday will be number 44 out of North Carolina, Kelvin Bryant. Bryant is thought to be, by some, maybe the best player in all the United States Football League. That's what his quarterback Chuck Fusina says. Fusina says he is the best running back in the league, with apologies to Herschel Walker. Now, Bryant was the second leading rusher in the USFL this year with over 1,200 yards. He's the second leading rusher in USFL history. He's also a fine pass receiver. The Stars must have the football long enough to give Bryant a chance to do something.
We're going to have to control the ball. I think we're going to have to run the ball on Oakland and, score some points, because Oakland can score points. And I think if we do that, we have a chance to win.
A large part of Bryant's success has been the large offensive line he has in front of him. Irv Eatman and company open a lot of big holes that allow a back with Bryant's ability to exploit defenses to a maximum.
And Kelvin Bryant is...
Our offensive line, they came out and, they stayed on their blocks. And, if they stay on their blocks, I'm going to get some yards. I think if they come out this week and do that, I think we'll have success.
Kelvin Bryant, he gives the Baltimore Stars speed, power, and an extra receiver. And if he's on his game, underdog Baltimore will be a very, very tough football team to beat Sunday night in the Meadowlands. Let's take a look at the stats so far for Kelvin Bryant, who is 100% healthy again for the Baltimore Stars through the first 2 weeks of the playoffs. 31 rushes for 170 yards. It's a pretty good average of almost 6 yards a carry, including a 76-yard run from scrimmage for a touchdown against the Birmingham Stallions last week. And you can see that Kelvin Bryant is, we all know he's a potent runner, but he's also a definite passing threat to boot for the Baltimore Stars. We'll be back with more on this special edition of a Compact Sports Special. We take a deeper look at the USFL championship game on Sunday night. You just had a look at the latest line from Las Vegas on the USFL championship game. Both the line on the game, Oakland favored by 1.5 points, and the over-under total kind of low for a USFL game. 40 points reflects the fact that they expect a lot of defense to be played Sunday night. In the first USFL championship game in Denver, the Stars were then from Philadelphia. It's basically the same unit, even though they moved down I-95 to Baltimore. The Michigan Panthers last year merged with the Oakland Invaders, taking the skill position people from Michigan into Oakland, and boy, what a difference they've made. But remember that first championship game in Denver a couple of years ago? It began, it got off to a flying start with parachutists bringing in the team flags of the Michigan Panthers and the Philadelphia Stars. Late in the first half, Michigan quarterback Bobby Hebert rolls right. It's great protection and finds Derek Holloway. Both these, of course, now with the Oakland Invaders, and the Panthers led 10-3 at halftime. Third quarter, Hebert and Holloway said, let's do it again. They do, and Michigan was rolling 17-3. But the Stars had a never-give-up attitude, and with just 8 minutes to go, Chuck Fusina found a diving Willie Collier. They're still on the Stars team of this year, and it was 17-14 Michigan. But the play that broke the Stars back, Bobby Hebert to Anthony Carter, and this combo, as we've mentioned several times already, has broken the backs of many teams. And Anthony Carter went in for the touchdown, and the Michigan Panthers went on to the first ever championship in the USFL with a 24-22 victory over the Philadelphia Stars. Last year at Tampa, the Philadelphia Stars got revenge of a sort. They got to the title game again, and they won, beating George Allen's Arizona Wranglers 23-3 in a game they totally dominated from every aspect, no doubt about